For more than 30 years, I've watched two very different groups of patients enter my clinic. Some walk in on their own, moving with a fluid confidence that suggests they don't even think about their legs. Others are brought in with help, perhaps leaning on a family member's arm or gripping a walker with white-knuckled intensity. What most people don't realize is this: the difference between those two outcomes is rarely about who had better luck. It's rarely about who has better genes, and it's almost never about who has less pain. The true dividing line is leg strength. Quietly, gradually, and week by week, after the age of 60, your legs lose strength, even if you feel perfectly fine today. This isn't a sudden drop-off like a cliff. It's a slow erosion, like a tide pulling sand away from the shore. Most people don't notice it until a specific moment changes their perspective. Maybe standing up from your favorite armchair takes a second longer than it used to. Maybe the stairs in your home suddenly feel steeper. Maybe you find yourself hesitating for just a heartbeat before stepping off a curb or reaching for a piece of furniture to steady yourself, a habit you never needed before. These are not just normal signs of getting older. They are the early, whispering warning signs of a condition with a serious medical name: sarcopenia. Sarcopenia, the age-related loss of muscle mass and strength. According to a landmark clinical review published by the European Working Group on Sarcopenia in Older People in 2019, adults over the age of 60 can lose up to 3 to 5% of their leg strength every single year if those muscles are not actively challenged. Let that sink in. That means weakness isn't waiting for you to turn 80 or 90. It is happening right now, quietly, while you are living your normal life.
Why walking is not enough. Now, here is where most well-meaning advice goes completely wrong. You've probably been told by friends, family, or even some doctors to just walk more. They tell you to get your steps in, stay active, and keep moving. Don't get me wrong, walking is wonderful. It's great for your heart, it's excellent for your circulation, and it's a proven booster for your mood. But there is a hard clinical truth we have to face. Walking alone does not stop leg muscle loss. A 2021 study from McMaster University followed adults aged 60 to 80 and found that habitual walking did not significantly preserve lower body strength or power. Power is that explosive quality you need to catch yourself when you trip or to push yourself up from a low sofa. In other words, you can walk a mile every single day and still find your legs getting weaker over time. This isn't your fault. It's simply incomplete advice. Muscle doesn't respond to movement alone. It responds to resistance. After 60, your nervous system begins to change. It activates fewer muscle fibers unless you specifically and deliberately ask for them. Your fast response balance muscles are usually the first to weaken. Once they do, your body compensates by moving slower and more cautiously. That's when your confidence quietly disappears. You stop doing things you love because you no longer trust the pillars beneath you. Today, we are changing that. We aren't talking about fitness or appearance. We are talking about independence, the ability to rise without help, to climb stairs without a railing, and to trust your legs again. The good news? This decline is reversible. It doesn't require a gym membership or heavy weights. In fact, some of the most effective movements for the 60-plus brain and body are done while sitting in a chair.
Exercise 5. Seated knee extension. Let's dive into our routine starting with number 5, the seated knee extension. Many people underestimate this because it looks too simple. There's no heavy breathing or sweating. But from a medical perspective, this movement targets the most important muscle group in the aging body, the quadriceps femoris. These are the large muscles on the front of your thighs. Your quads are your primary engines. They straighten the knee, they control your ability to stand up, and they act as shock absorbers when you walk downhill. A 2018 study from the University of Pittsburgh Department of Geriatrics found that reduced quadriceps strength was one of the strongest predictors of future mobility disability. When these weaken,
you lose your brakes, making you feel unstable. How to do it. Posture. Sit tall in a firm, sturdy chair. Keep your feet flat and your hips all the way back. The lift. Slowly straighten one leg until the knee is fully extended. Do not kick it out forcefully. Keep it controlled. The tempo. 2 seconds up, a brief squeeze at the top, then 3 full seconds to lower it back down. Why the slow lower? That's the eccentric phase. This is where the muscle fibers actually knit back together stronger. Prescription. Start with 8 to 10 repetitions per leg. Do 1 or 2 sets daily. Orthopedic surgeons love this exercise because it strengthens the knee without compressing the joint. It's pure muscle work without the joint stress. Exercise 4. Seated heel raises. Number 4 is an exercise for a muscle group that most people ignore until they actually have a fall: the seated heel raise. We often associate calf strength with athletes, but medically, your calf muscles, the gastrocnemius and soleus, are your balance muscles. They're your first line of defense. When you trip, it's your calves that snap your foot into position to steady you. A 2020 study from Kyoto University in Japan found that reduced calf strength significantly increased fall risk in adults over 70, regardless of how fit they were otherwise. You don't fall because you're weak everywhere, you fall because one specific system fails to react fast enough. How to do it. Posture. Sit upright with your feet flat on the floor about hip-width apart. The movement. Lift both heels as high as you comfortably can while keeping the balls of your feet pressed firmly into the ground. The tempo. 2 seconds up, a brief squeeze at the top, then 3 full seconds to lower it back down. The progression. Once 15 repetitions feel easy, try doing one leg at a time. This doubles the resistance on that single calf muscle. This movement improves ankle stability and walking confidence. It's one of the simplest fall prevention tools we have in clinical practice.
Exercise 3. Seated marching. Number 3 is seated marching. Some people think this is just a warm-up, but when done correctly, it's a powerful strength builder for your hip flexors and lower abdominals. These muscles determine how well you clear your foot when you walk. Have you noticed yourself shuffling lately? Or maybe catching your toe on the edge of a rug? That is usually due to weak hip flexors. A 2019 study from Monash University in Australia showed that improving hip strength significantly reduced gait instability, that wobbliness we feel when walking on uneven ground. How to do it. The setup. Sit tall and do not lean back against the chair. This forces your core to engage. The march. Lift one knee toward your chest slowly. Only go as high as you can without tilting your pelvis. The control. Lower it slowly and switch legs. Challenge. If you feel steady, take your hands off the armrests. This forces your deep stabilizer muscles to work in harmony with your legs. This restores the coordination between your legs and your trunk, making your walk feel more fluid and less like a struggle. Exercise 2. Seated sit-back control. Now we move into the heavy hitters. Number 2 is the seated sit-back control. In the clinic, we know that strength loss isn't the only thing that causes falls. What actually causes many injuries is the loss of deceleration, the ability to slow your body down. If you plop into chairs or collapse onto the bed, your muscles are losing the ability to control gravity. The muscles responsible for this are your glutes and your hamstrings. A 2020 study from the University of British Columbia found that seniors who lacked sitting control were twice as likely to fall within a year. How to do it. Position. Sit at the very front edge of your chair. The action. Lean forward slightly, cross your arms over your chest, and push yourself up just 2 or 3 inches, not a full stand, just a hover. The slow-mo. Now take 5 full seconds to lower yourself back into the seat. It should be quiet and controlled, no plopping. Frequency. Perform 6 to 8 repetitions. This trains the exact pattern needed for independence. This exercise rebuilds your confidence in transitions, the moments when you are moving from one position to another, which is when most accidents happen.
Exercise number 1, the isometric leg press hold. Finally, we reach number 1. This is the most overlooked exercise in senior health because it doesn't even look like you're moving. It is the seated leg press hold. This is an isometric exercise. It trains your nervous system to generate massive amounts of force instantly. When you stumble, you don't have time for a full range of motion. You need your muscles to fire and lock immediately to hold your weight. A 2017 study from the University of Copenhagen showed that isometric training improved functional performance even in adults over 70 who had previous injuries. How to do it? The setup: sit upright, feet flat. The push: imagine there is a heavy weight under your feet. Press both feet into the floor as hard as you can, as if you were trying to stand up, but stay seated. The hold: maintain that maximum pressure for 10 seconds. Keep breathing, don't hold your breath. The release: relax for 10 seconds. Repeat 5 times. This wakes up the connection between your brain and your muscle fibers. It's perfect for those with painful knees because there is no joint movement, just pure, safe muscle activation. If you found this clinical breakdown helpful, please hit the like button. It helps us reach more seniors who might be feeling discouraged about their strength. And subscribe for more science-backed guides on aging with power and confidence. All the studies I mentioned are linked in the description below for you to read. Remember, it's not just about adding years to your life. It's about adding life and movement to your years.